So, people talk about the sick, liveful Taverns and Mountain Blade Warband compared to Bannerlord and, well, the barmaid staring at the door and this dude, looking towards his corner. Yes, this is actually not very impressing and well, I think people misremember Mountain Blade Warband a lot. Then there are the vivid cities in Warband that are not vivid at all. I mean, this dude just stands there, not even flinching. Well, maybe he flinched a bit. Oh, let's have a look at this very interactive stuff. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I read this answer. I mean, it's cool they have an answer, but it's always the one same answer. This is actually something that changes, but it has no real impact on the game. By which I mean, yes, it has a bit of immersion, but the answer here doesn't matter. It doesn't change what you find on the market, for example. It doesn't change the production that you can set up. If these answers had the impact that, for example, he, working in a mill, grinding flour, would result in me being able to own or build said mill and have him as a worker, it would be something, but that's not the case. This is just an answer. Text that you can read, and that's it. What actually is fun is the rumors. Although again, as there is no hunting mechanism in Mountain Blade Warband, they are, yes, filler, immersion, creating fillers, and not, not impactful like, for example, in Mountain Blade Warband Viking Conquest, where you actually can go hunting, so a rumor about hunting has a certain meaning to the player in Viking Conquest, but not in Warband. Example given. Let's see if I can find the Guildmaster. Ah, yeah. That's another thing in Warband that many people misremember. People talk about how awesome it was to walk around Warband's towns, but the only thing you actually do in a town is this: talking to the Guildmaster, ignoring all of what he has to say, and only focusing on the productions. And then you click on this and check out which production is the most suitable to you, which means which one produces the most money. So you click and repeat and click and repeat and try to remember what he said. And this is the actual number that matters to you as a player. The profit. And that's actually it. That's the really impactful stuff in Warband is this. This one phrase of the Guildmaster. And if you like walking around town for immersion, you can do this. I don't judge it, don't worry, and enjoy your time in a town, but you can do the same in Bannerlord as well, and there you can talk to the peasants as well, and they will give, they will provide at least one. Oh, this is perfect. Warband is a totally perfect game, without any bugs. It's so much better than Bannerlord. Anyway, where was I? Of course, you can walk around in towns and talk to peasants there too in Bannerlord, and they give you at least one important thing of information, or actually it's two. The first information is prices. They talk about latest rumors and prices, and these prices actually matter and are implemented then in the trading screen, especially when you have a low trading skill. because then you must talk to peasants and collect so-called trade rumors by talking to them. And these prices that they mention are remembered and are often more profitable than the prices you have on the market without collecting these rumors. So this is one thing that actually is impactful in Bannerlord. And the other thing is, you can ask them to bring you to a notable or to a companion. So they lead you through the town. So, in my opinion, take a walk around the town or streets in Warband is less important, except for the Guildmaster, than having than doing the same thing in Bannerlord, you know. And that's actually something I liked about Warband. They have another collect trade rumor system. It's cool that you can do this from the menu instead of, well, going in a tavern, talk to peasants, walking through the streets, talk to peasants, yes. But weirdly, it is less immersive than what Bannerlord does. As everything the peasants do in Warband is just be filler. If you go in a town to look for the Guildmaster, which is what you actually do if you go in a town. You look for the fucking Guildmaster and not for the peasants with the random dialogue. Let's hope I won't starve, and let's hope I will make profit. Something else people talked about was patrols in Warband, and well, there are no actual patrols. There are lots like him, patrolling around their fief. Yes, but this is something they do in Bannerlord too. And in Bannerlord you can actually set up your own parties patrolling around your area. Especially now in the new update 1.5.10 and 1.60. Yeah, small profit. Especially there you can... Oh, that's the cheapest food. Awesome. Let's have a look at these taverns. I don't know actually about you, but... the taverns in Warband are not as people remember them to be. They claim them to be so much fuller, like Bannerlords, and they are not. Yes, you get 4 NPCs, a barkeeper, and a mercenary. They are there in Bannerlord too, so in this point they're equal. But in Bannerlord there are many more random NPCs and companions, or wanderers as they are called in Bannerlord, that sit around and you can talk to. And again, they provide latest rumors as well as trade information. This one is interesting when you play the first time, but after playing the second time or third time, and especially after playing a Rebellion, which I already did, I mean I have an entire playlist on it, the travelers are not that important. They're only important now if you lose a battle and your companions scatter throughout the map, because your party was dissolved by being beaten by bandits, or an enemy lord, whatever. Well, then they are useful, but finding a traveler that brings you or gives you hints to a companion's position is nearly as difficult as finding the companions yourself, again without asking him, because they are not in every tavern. They're only in a handful of taverns and change position randomly, and that's not that player friendly. These, the Wandering Minstrels, are something I like about Warband a lot. Although marriage is quite pointless in Warband, as you can't make children and as you are immortal, and every noble is immortal actually, so there is no reason for marrying, because The only thing the noblewomen therefore in this game is to provide them feasts. But what I like about it is the process of marrying. Oh, come on, can you tell me? Ah, finally. Here. Which is inspired by European and Arabian high Middle Age procedures, especially the procedure of I'm too poor, am I not? Oh. The procedure of oh fuck's sakes, how is it called? Minnesang. Yes. In Germany there was since 1200, between 1200 and 1500, there was this Minnesang culture. And oh wait, let me ask him again. Where this fucking feast is. Zargov. Yalen. Yalen is totally possible. Oh, cheats activated. No, they're not. Okay, so let's have a look at feast. As you can see, there are no patrols. There are some caravans. There are lords patrolling around. But again, this is something you do in Bannerlord too, and that's not very impressive. Oh, I sound so negative when I talk about it, but you know, I always hear about people talking about Warband as if it was, well, as if it was something it wasn't. You know, they talk about a dream version of Mountain Blade Warband that never existed, or actually they talk about mods, especially the diplomacy mod, and not about the actual vanilla Warband they paid for. Not about the actual product made by TaleWorlds. And this product by TaleWorlds is by no means a bad product. I had lots of fun with Mountain Blade Warband, but it has not all these features that people claim Bannerlord is missing. It simply does not have them. The only two features I found are minstrels and feasts, but again, this culture of poetry is something that is not there in the Byzantine Empire, at least not like in Arabia and in Central Europe in 1200. Don't forget, please don't forget that Bannerlord is a prequel to Warband, and it's set in the year 1080, not 2000, not 1200. Not the year 1200, but the year 1000, more or less. And that's a huge difference in culture. I'm still not impressed by the taverns and Warband, I'm sorry. Yeah, someone to hire. A ransom broker, they are there in Bannerlord too, by the way. And a companion. Well, the companions are... this is actually something that is not there in Bannerlord, as far as I know. It's these random farmers that appear and need help. And want you to help their village. But that's it, honestly. Unfortunately the feast is over. So it will take a bit until I can show you a feast. Finally! I managed to find a feast for you. It was very difficult to find. Actually, I stumbled upon it now because the wandering bards, troubadours, minstrels, whatever they are called in this game, are not very helpful. Let's have a look. Well, as you can see, this is quite underwhelming. If we compare the actual feast with what people say feasts are, I mean, look, this woman with the red hat in the green dress, she just stares at the wall. And, well, she stares at the wall too. I mean, she doesn't even turn when I come close. Now she does, finally. I give my character a random name. Oh yeah, let me show you. She hates me. She hates me too. Awesome. This start's actually pretty bad. Well, anyway, feasts are, as you can see, quite weird. I don't like the way they turn. I mean, look at this. They turn like Dracula, they turn like ghosts, they turn like I don't know which sort of monster. What the hell? Oh, he likes me. So, essentially that's what feasts do. The characters like you a little bit more, or dislike you a little bit more, and most of the time feasts do nothing, as you can see, participating in it. Yes, you can of course ask them for tasks or become a mercenary, but you can do so on the field too. You know, I could talk to any nobleman of Swadia I encounter and have the exact same dialogue with him. Same goes for the king. It's not that feasts are something special. I mean, look. This table is always this way, for example. Nobody changes anything about it, nobody touches it, nobody is even sitting at it. And that's the sick feast people talk about and people remember with so much nostalgia. I mean, look at the sport guards. In my opinion, they express totally how I feel about these feasts. They are an interesting random event. And they give you the opportunity. I just caught all of them. Ah, she likes me. Nice. So she likes me, okay. Maybe I will have the chance to show you how courting works with Lady Gaita? Oh, let's see how this happens. Oh, by the way, you don't believe me that they have the exact same dialogues? Let's talk to any Vlandian noble who doesn't know me. He, for example. You see, I can introduce myself to him. This exact same name. He will answer too, and yeah. Then it's something like, what is it? Or I see you're a nobleman. And then you can ask him about this. Actually, you even have more possibilities of interaction if they are not in a feast situation, but on the field, than when they are on a feast. So in my opinion, this makes feasts worse than the open field dialogues. I'll wait a bit and try to meet this lady to show you how courting works in this game. Which again, it's much more patience, and it is much less rewarding than Bannerlord system, because in Warband the wife you marry will just stay in your fief and that's it. She can do nothing. She can do nothing. She can only herself create feasts by your order, and that's it. So instead of, I don't know, going to Praven to join the feast with Harlus, Harlus might come to you during your feast. And that's it. That's a cute detail, but it's nothing impressive and nothing relevant, at least not on the level that people talk about it compared to Bannerlord. It's just how it is. It was a good game 10 years ago, yeah. It was a unique game 10 years ago. But in 2021, it's mediocre at best. So now I managed to meet Lady Gator, the one woman who actually liked my character, and I can meet her at Praven. I click on this option. Oh, look! It's the exact same room the feast was in. Oh, at least she has some small movement. And this dialogue. Always the exact same dialogue, without even the possibility to give an answer. Most impressive. See, the table is exactly the same as it was in the feast situation. No changes, no interaction with objects. I mean, look, she can't even sit on a chair or the throne. Well, sitting on the throne would be pretentious, but you know what I mean. She can't even sit. In native Warband, you don't even have the possibility of NPCs to sit around. They stand there for eternity. You know, in Bannerlord, they move a bit around the room and they sit sometimes down. And they read or laugh or chuckle or make some notes. In Warband, they don't. They wiggle a bit around at best and often just stay stiff around. Interesting. So, quoting was this way. You see, we have a bit of relation because I asked her out. I asked her about being her admirer and she accepted. Now, I have the opportunity to recite a poem instead of just saying, "Hey girl, wanna marry me?" This is quite 13th century stuff. Again, it fits the time Warband is set in. It's Minnesang. And yeah, I recited the poem by clicking, and she liked me a tiny bit better. And this process will repeat several times till you marry. And once you're married, the situation will be like this. She'll stand in the throne room of your fief and just stand around. No children, Only a bit of interaction with it, which is again feasts. You can plan and execute feasts with her. Well, maybe you cannot make children in this game because the beds are not interactable. I mean, the only thing you can do is stand weirdly in it, not even on it, but in it with your feet sink in it. Well, I wouldn't want to make children on this bed either, if I'm honest. Yeah, that's it. So, folks. Oh, Booker Whitley was teleported outside of the entire city, only by leaving the castle's gate. Anyway, to conclude, Warband is not as people remember it to be. It's not even what people claim it was. People tend to remember the diplomacy mod instead of the vanilla Warband, but then claim that it was vanilla Warband they played. And that's just a misinformation actually about two games, namely Warband and Bannerlord, that people spread. It's unwillingly, I think, but it's misinformation nonetheless. And again, I don't know why people are so horny about this Towns and Warband, because they are equally unimpressive as Bannerlord's towns. To say the least, actually they are more unimpressive. They're okay, but I'm sorry, Bannerlord is just a better game. It's more player friendly. At least you can gather useful information in towns. I mean, really useful information which results in profits, and not just some pseudo role-playing tiny elements that yeah, get actually pretty dull after the first hour in Warband. Sorry to be this biased, in my opinion, but can't change it. Can't change how I feel about it. Can't change how I feel about the discussion, because in my opinion discussion is full of misinformation, nostalgia, and yeah, actually plain out lies sometimes. Goodbye, Mount Riders and Blade Swingers. Have a nice day. Something that actually is different in Warband is that you can dedicate your success in a recent tournament to a lady, which will make her like you. On the other hand, there is a quest that has the exact same result in Bannerlord. Certain ladies will ask you to win tournaments for them, and if you do so, they will like you. They will just yeah, they will just like you. Yeah, that's it. That's actually it. So let's have a quick look, now that I talked so much about it in Warband, about taverns, keeps, and the town center, so walk around street feature. This is very similar to Warband, but already here we can see much more movement in this NPC. Like in Warband, he also has some more or less random line. But at least here I could ask this beggar who told me about this dyer to bring me to the dyer. Oh, look. That's the NPC I want to talk to. Or I can't talk to. And then I can quest for him. Or from caravans from town. Who will, trade around the world map. Something that Warband did not have, because there were only passive caravans for you to loot, not to make yourself. These are the rumors I talked about. And now I will try to find some trade rumors for you, or for us. Ah, finally! This is something very useful. The townspeople don't just point you towards notables that need a quest being done. They also point you towards profitable deals. I mean, if I bought this and brought it to Charas, I would make this amount of money too. It's not a big profit, but at least it's information. No, this is something I call a tavern. I can sit down. If I wanted to, I could play a board game. They finally blink at least sometimes and move a bit. It's much easier to find important characters, such as his companion. Like on Warband, they have some dialogue, you can just read it or click through it, and then hire them or not. They have musicians. They have people dancing. They have people actually sitting around again. Oh, look, she can stand up too. And look, she can fill cups back there. And you, of course, you have a tavern keeper that you can ask some stuff. But, yeah. That's what I wanted. Oh, and I can drink. That's what I wanted to show you. And the last thing I want to show you is the keeps. Now look at this. We have them pseudo-talking. At least they have the movements of actually talking while sitting around and having more or less human poses. And look! She's leaning at a wall. She's not just staring around. I see. Right now she's leaning at a wall. And look, you can actually do something with lords, more than just questing. You can actually play a game with them. And if you manage to win, they will start liking you. Of course, they won't like you as much as if you make them an expensive gift. Here, you have a peaceful way in Bannerlord that actually increases your relationship without having to search for a fucking feast all the time, only to stumble upon one randomly because the minstrels are good for nothing. And see, it even increased by 3 instead of just 1 or 2, like in Warband. And if I did a quest for an lord, yeah, this would increase even further. Anyway, I showed you what I wanted to show you. I hope I could debunk some myths and clarify what I don't like about the discussion about Warband and Bannerlord being compared. Which is exactly this misinformation. It's also pointless, honestly. Just enjoy the games you wanna play, and quit whining about it. Bye.